Valorant, a fast-action, first-person shooter that has taken the gaming industry by storm, growing into a popular esport in a relatively short period of time. Join me as I dive into what makes this game unique and see how far I can go from never playing first-person shooter games to attempting to climb the ranks and have my first clan tryout with a gold clan in Valorant in just 30 days.
So I think I've made my decision about the team as well.
There's a lot of information if you're new to Valorant that I feel you need to know. The first thing to understand about Valorant is what separates it from a lot of other FPS games, and this is the agents. There are 18 agents, each having their own utilities or skills. At first glance, although these skills may seem random, they do make sense if we go down one more layer and talk about classes. Each agent belongs to one of 4 classes. They are duelists, initiators, sentinel, and controller. Duelists are the primary attackers working with the initiators to make a push onto a site and begin taking opponents down. Different duelists have different skills, but generally they tend to have flashes, stuns, and fast moving abilities to help create disruption and pick enemies off. Currently the most popular class in the game, and it also consists of the most agents at 6. Initiator. Like the name suggests, they initiate and help push onto a site. This class is good for aggressively minded players. Although there are no general abilities for this class, they tend to have some sort of mix of recon abilities, flashes, and the ability to clear difficult corners. Sentinel. This is basically the defender of Valorant. Their abilities are aligned to help them hold a site and can force teams to rotate. Their abilities consist of tripwires, slows, or something that would make you aware of an enemy's location nearby, often putting these abilities on choke points to get the most intel and the most bang for their buck. And lastly, the controller. Like the word says, takes control of an area. They can shut down certain angles to make it easier to not only take a site, but also hold it and reduce the opponent's angle of attack. They tend to do this with their smoke abilities. Upon reviewing classes, knowing I have terrible aim, as I use the worst possible mouse you can get, and being older now, I decided it would be wise to either be a sentinel or a controller. And after reviewing all of the classes, it made up my mind. There was a clear favourite, and that was Viper. Viper is awesome. She has the biggest smoke in the game, and it hurts people who enter by doing what's known as decaying. This instantly makes the opponent take 30 damage, but not only that, they also then lose 10 HP per second. However, it should be noted that once they leave, their health will regenerate over time. Once the smoke has been deactivated, it has an 8-second cooldown. Although, if you deactivate the smoke by picking it up, you mitigate the cooldown and can place it elsewhere. Her other basic skill is called Snakebite. This is a Molotov. With this, you can shoot it into an area and prevent the opponent walking on it. You can shoot this into a spot an opponent might be lurking to make the move. This skill is incredible. It stays on the ground for 5.5 seconds and deals a whopping 12.5 damage per second. On top of that, it adds vulnerability, which means that any attack now does double damage. You can even pair this with the smoke to cause a devastating effect, and unlike the other utilities, you can buy 2 of these at the start of the round. The Viper's signature ability is the wall, called Toxic Screen. You can place this wall through areas of the map you wish to block off. Once down, you can then send poisonous gas through it. Not only does this block vision, but it also gives a toxin, similar to the smoke, which causes the 30 initial damage and 10 damage a second. Although this is primarily used to block vision, this is awesome to pair with orbs to run into or through areas going completely unseen. The wall can be kept up for a minimum of 2 seconds and requires 8 seconds of cooldown. It's important to note that once the wall has been placed in a certain position, you cannot move it until the next round begins. With utilities, if you don't use them, you get to keep them for the next round. Now, before we go to the Viper's ultimate, it's important to talk about the Viper's fuel. Poison fuel. This is a bar that when empty, you can no longer activate your smoke or wall. However, once turning the utilities off, it will start to recharge. You have 100 fuel, and when using either the orb or the wall, the fuel is used at 7.5 fuel a second. And if both skills are used together, it costs 10 per second. And now for the ultimate. Viper's Pit, a chemical cloud that surrounds the Viper, lowering vision and maximal health for the opponents. This is a toxin, so it hits for 30 initial and 10 per second. This is great for taking or protecting a site and costs 8 ultimate points. You gain 1 ultimate point for each kill, 1 for each time you die, and 1 for each time you defuse a spike. There are also orbs in fixed locations around the map that you can consume. Hopefully that has helped explain the classes and particularly the Viper. Now let's have a quick rundown of general gameplay. Each team has 5 players and is randomly assigned to attack or defend defend first. The attacking team has to try and plant a spike in one of the sites shown on the map. The spike is found in the team respawn at the beginning of the round. After battling for 12 rounds, they switch. The attacking team now moves on to defense, and the defending team now moves on to attack. This game is first to 13. However, you must win by 2 clear points. Therefore, if it's 12-12, it becomes sudden victory, whereby each round the teams switch from attack to defense and back and forth until a team clearly gets the win. With the rules out the way, let's cover what happened over the 30 days. When you load up Valorant for the first time, it gives you a quick tutorial. Part of that includes shooting robots, which was a rude awakening for me. After the tutorial, I went into my first unranked game. Alright, I'm looking forward to this. First game of Valorant, it's going to be interesting. So, would you like a coffee? Oh, yes, actually, that'd be good. Get some energy. Yeah, please. Can I get me usual, please? Coffee and 21 sugars. 21 sugars, thank you. Even though I did a bit of research about Valorant, I felt completely confused. Which pistol is best? Do I buy a pistol or save? Do I buy armor or utilities? My strategy here was to hand back and let my team go in, hoping that they can carry me through this game. Unfortunately, they could not. And I was no use, dying time and time again. I had no idea what was going on, and by the start of the 4th round I could feel my teammates starting to get annoyed at me. The last time I played a competitive first-person shooter was 20 years ago. Yes, 20 years ago. I played Team Fortress Classic. And you see, Valorant was an interesting game. It seemed fast-paced with all of the different abilities, yet at the same time it felt slow. The bunny hopping in this game was ineffective. You couldn't aim accurately whilst moving, so you were forced to be slow. It was an eye-opening game. Players were extremely aggressive in situations I never expected them to be. I also had no idea where the threat was. I had purple things floating around in front of me occasionally, and I had no idea if I was meant to shoot it or not. I've since learned to shoot it if you want to see again. My first game left me feeling deflated. I had no idea how I was going to try for a gold clan in just 30 days, when I can't even aim and feel like this game is a game that has passed me by. After the first game, I headed back to YouTube to try and find some more tutorials to watch to help me understand the game a little bit more. But I didn't want to spend too long doing this, as I needed to get a lot of games in. The first reason was to get comfortable in the maps. The second reason was I wanted to get comfortable playing with a keyboard and mouse. And the final reason was XP. You see, in Valorant you need to reach level 20 to play comp, which to me was a bit of a big ask, as it would force me to use 1 full week of playing just to be able to play ranked, and could slow my ability to get in more ranked games within the time frame of 30 days. Oh man, I can't survive. Oh, is it done already? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Love a bit of coffee, you know. Keeps you going, don't it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. How many sugars did you put in that? 22. 22. I said 21. 22 is way too sweet. Nah, remake that.
Don't get in my way.
In week 2, I had finally unlocked ranked and unlocked my main agent for 30 days, Viper. Week 2 felt a lot better. I was finally understanding the game more and feeling more confident in where I should be. Although still not perfect, it became much more enjoyable because I was at a point where, although I was inconsistent, I could have moments of magic where I was able to actually contribute to the team. I started to come up with different strategies with my wall and was getting much quicker at using my utilities. I now knew the best guns and how to play out the rounds more. I finished my first set of ranked games and got placed in IM3, which I wasn't totally disappointed by, until I realised that you could play for 45 minutes just to gain 10 MMR, or even worse, lose 20.
Don't get in my way.
In week 3, now understanding the maps and improving, I decided to start learning lineups. Lineups are where you use a Valorant agent ability from a specific location, direction, and elevation, so that it lands in a precise spot. These can be used to help you enter a site, prevent a plant, or prevent a defuse. Here are 2 of my favourites. In Ascent, to take the A site, you can line up the top of the smoke icon with the top of this brick and perform a jump throw to block the majority of heaven. In Pearl, if you plant the spike here, you can stand in this spot and shoot Molotovs by lining up the button icon with the corner of the brickwork to get the Molotov to land on the spike and prevent the defuse. After I spent a lot of time learning different lineups, I decided to then get coaching from a player called Sync. Sync peaked at top 295 in Valorant and has over 10 years of first-person shooting experience. This would be the perfect coach for me, as for me my aim is terrible. Having Sync help fix my aiming issues out, whilst I continue to learn and refine my lineups, could help tremendously going into the final week. And boy was I blown away. Sync was an awesome coach and an unreal player, and he got headshot after headshot and it was incredible to watch. He told me all of the secrets to shooting at this level. Number 1, aim where they will run to. 2, stop using zoom on the gun, it's too slow. 3, don't sneak using diagonal movement, always use strafe. And 4, stop when you shoot, this will make you more accurate. There was one more point, a 5th point, which to me made the biggest difference, but this is something we will come to later on.
Don't get in my way.
Week 4 I had peaked at bronze 3 and was working up to silver, and suddenly they reset the season. I was gutted, but it didn't matter as now my focus was on the clan tryout with Team Fusion. Team Fusion were an awesome bunch of guys and I saw they were looking for a gold player in the Valorant Discord. I had no choice. I had to pretend I was gold to see if I could hang with them without knowing. Of course, being a bit too honest, I did confess that I'd only played for 30 days, but this wasn't held against me. The map for the trial just so happened to be Heaven, one that I hadn't played for a full week leading up to this. However, I did have a lineup for A, which I thought might make me look like I knew what I was doing. Seven, who was the player trialing me, was an awesome guy and really encouraging,
Poison's off.
Oh, amazing lineup.
and was giving me tips as we played.
My ultimate is ready.
You will not kill my allies!
You have great aim, to be honest.
One enemy remaining.
Poison orb removed.
Be careful. All fighting. Ooh, really good fight, to be honest.
It was then the moment I was waiting for. All of the studying, practicing, training. Was it enough in such a short period of time?
Though I think I've made my decision about the team as well. I think I'll actually make it onto the team.
I couldn't believe it. I was overjoyed. From 0 to gold clan in 30 days, fantastic. Valorant had been full of highs and lows, and personally for me, this is a game I probably won't play again just based on the length of a match. However, I wanted to give it one last farewell, taking all of the knowledge I've gained to fully concentrate in the game without streaming for the last time. And this game went insane. I felt unstoppable. Everything was falling into place. My aim felt great, and it was based on one thing that Sync told me. The last tip, and that is, don't see the game as aiming at the opponent's head. Instead, think about it as just putting the mouse on their head and clicking. Although this sounded like really iffy advice, it clicked in this game. I didn't feel like I was in the game struggling, trying to gradually aim. I took it as I was just getting my pointer and just clicking it on their head as fast as I could. I finished this full game with only one death. And that is where I'll end this memory. Thank you for everyone who was involved in this, including the people who came over to Twitch to hang out whilst I stream these games. All links and Discord links for the individuals who appeared in this video are below. Thank you for watching, have a nice life, and peace out. Peace!